Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to another Final Fantasy XIV playthrough video. Hope you guys are excited. Good to see you all. Let's get into a recap. Last time, Vana and the Warrior of Light made their way to Ktisis Hyperborea, meeting with Emmet, Selk and Hythlodaeus in an attempt to catch up to Hermes. Emmet concluded that Hermes clearly had no ill intent towards playing a part in the final days, and so agrees with Vana that we should inform him of the Warrior of Light's story. Hythlodaeus then uses his ether vision contact lenses to sniff out Hermes' current location, and thus we headed over to speak with him. We tell him of the events to come, and that it is likely the product of some sort of dynamis reaction. Hermes, being the local expert on the phenomena, informs us that he thinks the different reactions of the final days, the first warping creation magics with the second warping the people themselves, may have something to do with the etheric densities. Ether negating dynamis, meaning the people of the future, living in sundered shards of their star, are less etherically dense, therein meaning they themselves are more susceptible to the influence of dynamis. He goes on to note that dynamis is an energy put into motion by feelings, and there must exist a source of those feelings. Someone or something is instigating the star's demise. At this point, Meteion interrupts with a change in tone. Almost robotic in nature, she communicates with her hive mind of sisters out there exploring the universe, then suddenly demonstrating tremendous pain and discomfort before disappearing by altering her own etheric density. We take chase and she is hesitant to disclose what it is she saw, or felt, leading Emmet and the Warrior of Light to herd her into Vana, Hythlodaeus and Hermes' path, where we finally confront her and learn the truth. She reads through her received report, detailing the discoveries of dozens of stars and planets once host to varieties of intelligent life, but not one civilization now remains alive, whether by plague, war, or even self-annihilation, in a refusal to answer their questions. Emmet prompts Hermes to reveal the question he entrusted to the Meteor, to which he responds that they were to find out what others lived for, what gives their lives meaning. Emmet then suggests that the premise of the question itself was flawed. What answers could she possibly derive from their silence? He then orders Hermes to ensure Meteion and her sisters return immediately to Amarot for further study. As Hermes kneels in front of Meteion, explaining the situation and philosophically pondering once again, he promises to hold himself to his word and find answers to the question posed. And to that, he stands up, takes out his staff, and transforms into his true form of Hermes, swooping Meteion into his arms and off into the sky. We venture back to Ktisis Hyperborea, where a disturbance clearly took place, and we enter the next dungeon, an expansive dream factory, the perfect testing ground for creations. We make our way through each biome, eventually climbing heavensward, where we met Hermes. The Warrior of Light, Vana, Hythlodaeus and Emmet fight against his transformation, confidently coming out on top, as Emmet Selk orders Meteion be taken into custody. Once more, Hermes apologizes to Meteion, begging for an explanation to the question, but this is not the answer he was hoping for, as Meteion approaches slowly, oozing the ever so familiar grey mist, while ominously regurgitating the report's results. The lack of meaning in anything they found reflecting off Hermes' emotions, manifesting as despair in the young creation's demeanor, until finally in their nest she's completely desaturated of joy, offering salvation in their nest of naivety at the edge of the universe, as there Meteion and her sisters will hoard sorrow and suffering and sing the chorus of the final days. Yet again, in shocking form, Hermes decides to stick by his creation. He binds his friends and challenges the acts of judgment man pursues on other life forms. He deems man himself shall be fairly judged with the help of Kairos, his memory reconfiguration system, now targeting Ktisis Hyperborea as its clock ticks down towards wiping all their memories after arrival at Elpis. He allows Meteion to fly away to her nest, but Vana breaks free and gives chase on Argos, planting a tracking device before giving up effort. Emmet and Hythlodaeus say their farewells for the last time, some minor tomfoolery included of course, and Vana heroically catches and ushers the Warrior of Light through a confluence safely back to the ground in Elpis, as Kairos executes its instructions, wiping any memory of the events, replacing them with a fake story with a convenient mishap as explanation for any gaps. As the Warrior of Light and Vana return to Propylian, they too say their final farewells as they both take comfort in each other's confide. Vana must now work separate from the convocation to secure the plans we learned about on the moon, whilst proving mankind's worthiness to exist, as we both walk our paths together to the end. She sends us off and we float back through time, arriving in the not so distant future when the final days arrived at Amarot. We see death and destruction as a representation of Vana walks through the streets filled with despair. Emet-Selch and Hythlodaeus go their separate ways as our new old friend chooses to sacrifice himself to Zodiark to help save the star. We end up witnessing Vana wrestle with the people of the time and their commitment to the pursuit of perfection through Zodiark, resulting in the hardest decision she would have to make: sundering the star, destroying their world, and averting the final days. For this, she would bear the excruciating burden of man's struggle for millennia, each Ascian rejoining a brutal hit to her power as she dedicates herself to fulfill the promise she made in another time. We awaken in the Ocular and make our way back to Sharlayan to speak with Krile and continue our goal of stopping the final days. We now finally have our answers. And that's about where we left it off. Don't forget, if you're new here, to hit the subscribe button. Welcome, appreciate you guys. And if you want to help support the channel, hit the join button just below this video and become a member. Alternatively, you can head over to Twitch and use your Twitch Prime and all of that stuff if you want. Appreciate you guys and all the members and everything. You guys rule. Check the links out in the description of this video as well if you want to head over to Discord, join there, and get involved with the raids and stuff like that. Hope to see some of you guys over there. But without further ado, let's get into the video. So, have you learned odd more of the final days? Nah, nothing really happened, Krile. Like, it was all just pretty chill. Then the journey was well worth the risk. No doubt your newfound knowledge will be a great boon to us all. Unfortunately, during your time on the First, events here have taken a turn for the worse. The Scions are running themselves ragged trying to contain the spread of blasphemies, but it's a losing battle. To try and ascertain the where and why of it, Eorzea and Alphino have been travelling all over. Of all the regions they visited, Locus Amonis was one of the worst affected. Thancred, Estinian and Graha took a detachment of allied soldiers there to offer aid and succour to those in need. But the province is vast. They only managed to visit a handful of coastal villages. It was an accomplishment worth celebrating, but a drop in the bucket at best. In the meantime, Y'shtola and Master Matoya have been making a concerted effort to establish contact with Hydaelyn in the Ethereal Sea, but to no avail. As for Tataru and I, we've been keeping a close eye on the Forum. From what we gather, they've been constructing a vessel to ferry people to the moon, an ambitious project that has likely been years, if not decades in the making. However, since we've seen no sign of it thus far, I suspect it's still incomplete. You will also recall the proposal issued by Master Fortuno to the people of Radzatan. Following their discussion, Ritra declared his support for the plan and urged those who wish to evacuate to accept the Forum's invitation. So far so good, but that's where things get a little strange. Apparently the Forum caught wind of the lunar teleporter in the Tower of Babel and decided to use it to deliver people to the moon instead of their mysterious ship. Therefore, to secure safe passage for the Hanish refugees to the tower, Alphino, Eorzea, Estinian and Graha travelled to Garlemald not long ago. Trouble is, the capital was hardly the safest place to begin with, and now... the crazy rampant, the final day... Oh, that's even worse. Yeah, it was bad, now it's crazy bad. Shortly after our friends arrived, they were sent to rendezvous with Master Fortuno. Then panic broke out and our communications were severed. From what fragments we were able to make out before the link shell went completely silent, we can only assume the phenomenon has spread to the capital. The others need you to. Please, you must help them. I am on this. I mean, like, my life is in ruin anyway, so like, having you there will make all the difference, I'm sure of it. Camp Broken Glass was their first port of call, so you best start there. Hopefully, Lucia will know where they are. There's no telling what you'll be walking into, so you had best take every possible precaution. Back to Garlemald we go. Back to Depression City. Yep. Can confirm final days is here. Oh shit, a battle? Who? And not a moment too soon. The skies over Garlemald are ablaze, but it's events on the ground that concern me. As you will have heard, your fellow Scions arrived ahead of you. We cut the customary greetings short after we received word from our troops on the Magna Glacius that the Forum's airship had landed. It was then that the heavens began to burn. I dispatched your friends at once to ensure the refugees came to no harm. I would have you join them immediately. Additional support is en route, but we will discuss them later. I trust you're ready to depart. We're just... You get us several cutscenes. You get us several... Okay, we're doing this. Again. This one's gonna be a happy one, I know it. As the heavens burn. Here we go. Earlier on the Magna Glacius. Them heavens do be burning. Oh my god. It's just chaos. These ones look sick though.
No.
No, mustache man.
No. We were promised an escape. Not the same doom we fled.
Be happy, bro. Oh shit, that one looks cool. Wait, I thought that was me.
Days here in this blasted waste. Calm yourselves. Your panic is our greatest enemy. Come, we must build a line of defense.
Graha did it better. Oh my god, imagine getting impaled. They're not gonna impale the kid. Don't impale the kid. Hey, Dad.
How?
Leave the fighting to us, Father. You must lead the people to safety.
Damn, son. Let's kill Alfie. Easy work for Estinian.
I can handle this pair. You?
Shall tend to the refugees. Let us be about it.
As you wish, my little lord.
Oh, they're like partners now. This is cool. Oh, we're role playing.
I'll command the beast's attention. See to the wounded.
Help is at hand.
Yeah, I wish I could tab target. I can't tab target these guys. But that level your Toxicon, that's a big one, right?
Leave it to me.
Okay. What's this one? Oh, that's my dot. Dude, I look so cool as Alfie. Uh-oh, these guys are gonna turn. Oops.
Those who can stand, come with me.
Okay, okay. Everyone's turning. All is lost. Come on, bros. Get it together. Stress refugee.
Easy now. Deep breaths.
Got you, bro.
You're safe now.
Alfie Garlemald redemption arc? This is cool.
Worry not for the refugees, but for yourself, boy.
Hey, Dad. Oh, God. I just realized I have no swift cast. So I just gotta keep Estinian alive. I got you, bro. Don't worry about it. Uh-oh. Oh, God. That's big shield, right? Oh God, this is like a heal check. Oh fuck. I should use Leveilleurs diagnosis. That's a shield though, right? Boom. 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 AoE. Heal on me. Boom.
They fight hard, but not hard enough.
Whack. I love the name. Wrong thing. Good. All my buttons are weird. This is not how I have Siege laid out. Okay, he's dead. Thank God. Woo! He didn't die. Oh my God. Oh, that's the things from the trailer. We never actually got to fight those before. I don't think.
Help! Someone, please!
What?
They keep teasing with... No! Did they kill another one? Okay, he's not dead.
No. Don't. I don't want to die.
Go them all, baby!
Let not a single fiend escape!
Oh, it's our boy! What's his name? I totally forgot his name. So much shit happened. I'm sorry, man.
Wait, that's... Euless and the army.
Ah!
So, you've recovered then? In time enough to be of aid. For once. We can speak of it more later. For now, we must fight! To repay your salvation in kind, or with better! For Garlemald has her pride!
Yeah, you kind of owe us. You tried to kill us. Remember that?
Of that I've no doubt.
Good gods. Of all possible saviors, the Imperial Army.
Is he just standing here? What? Like...
Oh!
Graha, baby! Oh yeah, and your daughter.
I had hoped to take all of them down at once.
Think a withdrawal might be in order?
Not now, Dad's watching.
Oh, sod that. You know who would never abandon these people to their fate. To be devoured by their former friends. That'd be beyond cruel. These beasts must fall here and now.
Well then, I'd say it's high time we threw caution to the winds.
So long as you spare me the heroic sacrifices. Now, let's go!
RP time! Yes! Which one, G'raha or Eorzea? I think Eorzea, right? Yeah. Okay, I've never played Red Mage in my life. Boom, baby! Is this a... Oh, oops. I guess I just keep hitting the combo until I don't have it anymore. And then I hit a little Vercure. Hit this, boom. Come on, G'raha, you can do better. There we go. Wait, did he stop time? Ah, I keep doing that.
I'm fine.
I shouldn't cancel that. I'm tanking now? Okay. Oh god, that hurt. Why is G'raha not tanking? Isn't he like the tank?
Not today.
Okay. Combo, 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 combo. Okay, that's a big ass combo. I like how we're in coordination, G'raha. This is great. I don't like that though. Now's our chance.
I'm not done yet.
Oh, he's healing me. I don't really need to heal myself. Wait, what the fuck is happening? Am I just casting?
None to worry about. The air crackles with energy. Find cover!
Oh, that. Okay. Meteor's hitting, meteor's hitting. All right.
As they say, turnabout's fair play. On guard.
Casually yoinking the LB as usual, as fucking usual. Yay!
There's not the barest trace of ether. Maybe there really is no way to bring them back. Thank you for saving our lives once again.
You're welcome.
I remember you, from Purusha. You helped us there too, didn't you?
Ah, you're from Palaka's stand. I'm glad you're still in one piece.
Aww. Uh-oh.
Or you will be, once I see to that injury of yours.
Look out!
Or another. Ah, the trailer. I've had enough of this rabble. Ooh, he's got the
Get out of
poly.
here! Quickly!
The polyglam going. Let's see it.
I won't lose them. Not a one. This will be a brighter future. I won't let a madman's apocalypse ruin everything we've fought to achieve.
See, now that he says that, he's talking about Fandango or is he talking about Hermes? Basically the same person, but like, now I have a lot more questions. I don't think he knows
Get
either.
it together, Alize. You're embarrassing yourself. And in front of father, no less. You might never measure
gonna do the
up
sword
to our
thing.
champion.
Say it, say it, say it,
But we
say it.
ask too much of him as it is. You mustn't let our sword in the darkness fight alone.
Say it. Say the thing. Oh, hello. Why do I look so badass in the Fall Guys shoes? I just walk over like,
Oh,
hey Jimmy. I'm back, bitches! This is precisely why you should never skip your squat regimen. It is a leg day after all.
I can look after myself, you know.
I can look after myself. She's saying it. She's doing the trailer.
Everything's in order, I trust.
Do it. Say the
I've had
line.
enough of this rabble.
Yes! She said it. They were building that one up as well.
Oh, a trio for the ages.
Hell yeah. Here we go. We're so badass. So cool. Deadly impact. A beast calls on a rain of meteors. I can go this side. Surely. Okay, I can't go that side. That's pretty quick.
Just the beginning.
I feel like you can though.
I had a feeling I'd find you here. This should be the last of the worst troublemakers. With me!
All the gang's here. It's so nice to have everyone back, you know?
Gotcha!
Like, given we were in Elpis and shit went on.
Gotcha!
Damn you!
I am in your debt.
Graham looks pretty cool.
Now, where were we?
I have no idea what happened there. I just kind of YOLO'd it. I can just go here. Wait, Eorzea, you're about to die. Yay! The gang did it!
You must board without delay. The ship will depart ere long.
Your offer to host us in Sharlayan is most appreciated.
Oh yeah, I remember her.
Will the final days not soon fall upon it as well?
She was the one from the religious place.
Your hesitation is not unwarranted. The satrap entrusted me with your lives, yet I have failed your comrades. Nor are you wrong to fear that this corruption will continue to spread. I cannot promise you complete safety, even in my homeland. What I can promise is that I will do all in my power to protect you.
Do we get to see Fortuno fight? Huh. Hopefully he doesn't die.
Is not inconsiderable. Even now, my countrymen are preparing the vessel that will deliver us to a sanctuary on the moon.
Because that would be sad for the twins.
Join us on our journey there, and beyond, to new horizons. Come to old Sharlayan. Please.
We would be fools to refuse such a generous offer made in earnest.
Hmm.
It seems they've a new destination.
The people of Radzat-Han have known too much suffering. The march to Garlemald will only bring them more, short though it may be.
Wait, they made them
quite agree.
walk?
Fortunately, they have you to look after them.
Did he mean that?
Well,
Did he mean that, or was that a little bit of sarcasm? Alfie's not really known to be super sarcastic.
Behind you! Just there!
Ah, here we go again. Is this Mustache Man? No, this is Beard Man.
More of them.
Don't tell me he trips and falls over. What was that? Whoa, 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 hello. We gonna do this?
Zenos! Here!
You'll be all right. Hurry to the airship.
Is he more powerful now? I didn't expect him to see him so soon.
Why have you come?
A heretofore unseen beast. 'Twas ripe for the slaying.
We all know that's not the reason.
Poor sport, alas. Unfit to temper my blade.
Oh, for the love of... You cannot still be on about a rematch.
That is and has ever been my sole concern.
Hello.
You, on the other hand, are fixated on a different quarry.
Yep. Still not thinking about you.
Your passion pales before mine. Yet neither hate nor despair seem sufficient to recapture your misdirected bloodlust.
Maybe another time. Still not up for it.
So, I hone my blade, and I wait.
I kind of feel, I'm getting to the point where I feel bad for him. He's like forever hopeful. Maybe one day I'll get to fight my idol.
That's it. That's all you care about.
Don't lecture him, man. Like, he's crazy.
Garlemald is in ruins. Our homeland, the nation you rule, is as good as gone.
He's gonna get shot down
Along
here.
with so many of its people. Not just soldiers like us. Not only those who fought and killed for power and duty. Innocent civilians. Murdered by their own flesh and blood. Lost and confused as they breathed their last.
It is really interesting though, because they don't know much about Zenos apart from what they've heard. And that he's like a big double traitor or whatever now.
While we who survived with our lives and minds intact were left to freeze to death. The Eorzeans tell me all this was your doing. You slaughtered your countrymen! You did! For what?
For nothing in the end. So much wasted effort.
You.
He's gonna make him so mad.
You bastard!
Don't be
For your own
dumb.
sake, Eulus, you must control your anger. It will serve no one should it consume you and see you transformed.
Oh, that's true. I wasn't even thinking about that. I thought he was just gonna go and fight Zenos and just like die.
Would you be happier had I a good reason?
Good point.
What?
If my motives met with your approval, would you no longer resent the outcome? If so, then perhaps a beast's skin would suit you better. Duty, honor, morality. All constructs of convenience when put to proof. Surely the war taught you how easily power becomes the tool of the self-righteous. How the people's justice was merely a means to their ends. Yet you would ask me why. Ask any creature of this star and those above for answers, and they will tell you what suits their fancy. And they would be right to do so. What meaning there is to be found in the petty vicissitudes of your existence must be gleaned by you, and you alone.
Ooh, he's been talking to Hermes or somebody. I guess he was talking about with Fandaniel, so maybe like he... Yeah, that would make sense actually.
Should you seek it in battle in the fruitless pursuit of my demise, then come. Assume your rightful place as a notch on my blade.
You are a blight on the Garlean race, and there would be no more satisfying way to expunge it than by beating you to death.
Don't know about that.
But I will not be party to another tragedy. I refuse to lose anyone else because of you. So go. Go! And may we never suffer your madness again!
Zenos just doesn't give a fuck. He is void of anything. It's like Eulus is talking to a brick wall right now. And he doesn't realize it.
Zenos! Perhaps you found meaning in living this way. I cannot deny you found strength. Yet if you only pursue your hedonistic pleasures and pay no heed to the plight of others, then no one will give you the time of day.
You got a point. And I'm certainly showing it to him.
You will never get what you want. Not even the battle you pine for so dearly. You'll be alone for an eternity, and you'll deserve every agonizing second of it.
That one stung. Just a little bit. Hey, Dad. Just having a conversation with Zenos out here.
We're ready to depart. The refugee ships will be leaving shortly, but I've asked mine to remain for the time being. There's room enough for you to join me on it, if you wish.
Do we really have to make a decision now?
Do contain your surprise. I needn't agree with the Scions' methods or intentions to acknowledge that their deeds are deserving of gratitude.
Finally, man.
We appreciate the offer. But might I ask why you are delaying your departure? I presume it is not solely for our benefit.
I must visit Garlemald ere we return to Sharlayan. Having caused such an uproar, 'tis only meet that I explain myself to the Eorzea contingent.
Allow us to accompany you then. We should be glad to facilitate, given our familiarity with all concerned. If you would like to join as well, Eulus, we can speak of recent events on the way.
Okay. I guess we go back and see Lucia?
He'll be after your seat on the forum next.
Alfie. There's a little bit of pride in there. I see it. Smile. Ooh. We're close, we're close. He's coming around though, I can sense it. Though there'll be time later to discuss your journey to the First, there is one thing I must ask. Did you perchance speak with our friends in the Crystarium? Oh, Lena and Backlog both warned me against overexerting myself. Strange that they would express such similar sentiments. Identical, in fact. But their advice is duly noted. Yeah, I wonder why. Huh, strange. I'm coming to steal your wife. I'm sorry, but like, me better. I'm sorry. To see Zenos standing there, so uncaring and unrepentant. Gods, I don't know what came over me. I just blurted out the first thing that came to mind, but looking back on it, I stand by those words. I would say I hope they won't incite him to further villainy, but to be honest, I doubt even he remembers what I said. Anyway, enough about all that. It's good to see you again. We still need to quiz you about your time in the First, if we ever get more than a moment's respite. Can we just leave it in the past? It took me like a full week to get over it. We'll talk about it some other time, okay?
No major injuries then. Good. I briefed the recovered soldiers and sent them on their way as quickly as I could, but nevertheless feared they would not make it in time.
The additional support was invaluable. Your men saved more than a few lives.
True. Although I feel like we had it handled.
Though not all, I regret to say.
I take it that I'm addressing Lucia Junius. I'm the Forum's envoy, Forchano Leveilleurs, and you are owed an explanation for these most dire developments.
Another trial wrought by the final days. I was beginning to suspect as much. You doubtless feel some consternation having been forced to abandon your original plan. But trust me when I say you were right to send the refugees elsewhere.
Yeah, this place is cursed.
Beasts have been sighted within the capital. Perhaps it was a stroke of grim fortune that the population was decimated beforehand. And they've yet to appear in any great number, but in time.
Actually kind of true. That's so fucked up, isn't it?
In any case, Maxima leads the remainder of the contingent in an effort to cull the creatures and evacuate the populace as we speak. Once the airships have taken to the skies, I pray your men can be persuaded to join him.
You'll permit us to retain our weapons?
I wouldn't have sent you after the Scions were I expecting you to stab them in the back.
Yeah, like, take a look around, man. Like, I think there's more important things than Garlemald right now.
And I, for one, would not consider past transgressions more relevant than future contributions. Regardless of the circumstances that saw us at odds before, we need men of courage now, more than ever.
His eyes. He's like...
We swore to defend Garlemald, and so we shall.
Okay, okay.
It seems you have everything under control. You will excuse me then, for mine own duties await.
A moment, Master Forchano. You did desire to express your appreciation for services rendered, did you not?
I did. Though if you intend to again ask that Sharlayan alter its course, you will find my gratitude insufficient.
'Tis nothing so onerous. I wish to hear the details of this grand endeavor of yours.
Do you swear to listen and to learn, and not to embark upon some scheme to impede us?
Okay.
I swear.
I think he knows his son more than Alfie thinks. He's kind of spot on with that one.
Any other I would doubt, but you I trust to keep your word. For not once have you broken it. Very well. I will request that the Forum make you privy to our plans. You may await our summons at the Baldesion Annex, assuming the decision is in your favor. Does that suffice?
It does.
Yeah.
You have my thanks.
Excellent. You can regale us with tales of your most recent sojourn to the First while we wait.
Oh, God. You guys don't want to hear it. What does he sense?
Hear something just now?
Huh. Oh. What? What? Why the fuck? No! No! Why? Pudding way? Really? Wait, what? Oh!
Dawn may banish even the darkest night. And to this bitter clime bring warmth and comfort.
He told Puddingway to do that. Oh, you, Uri. Oh,
Tis
you.
heartening to see such an assembly upon my return. I thought often of you whilst I looked down upon our star's brilliance from the moon above.
Yes, but what are you doing here? You're dressed like that. Aren't you cold?
Also, good point.
Verily, I fear for my health should I proceed to expound upon our purpose ere I procure more suitable garments.
Hey!
Allow me to summarize. We're here because none of you lot are up there. Nor has anyone deigned to send word about any changes in the plans. It's rude, is what it is. At least that's what I thought at first, but then folks got to wondering if you weren't in a spot of bother, so we decided to take matters into our own hands. Come down here and help, if our help be needed.
Yes! See, this was what we should have done in the first place. Welcome to our lovely, doomed world.
So she says, but it's also something of a convenient excuse to visit Etheris. Urianger made it sound absolutely marvelous. More so before the impending doom, but still. And it's not like there will ever be a better time. What with the aforementioned doom?
Marvellous, they say, yet not an ounce of pudding to be found. I will suffer Urianger's inferior works no more.
Hey! Maybe consider the plight of present company before you go blathering on about pudding and doom?
No, it's, I understand. I get it. I get it. Don't worry.
As I was saying, should you require any assistance with whatever, we are at your disposal. We were born from Hydaelyn's love for the lives of this star, so naturally we would much prefer to see them continue. Twiddling our thumbs up on the moon is hardly conducive to that, though, is it?
True, true.
Aye. Not when you've all got such precious thoughts and feelings and hopes for the future deserving of more active preservation. Speaking to Urianger made us realize that while we've carried out our duties to the letter, we've failed to fulfill them in spirit. From there, it was just a hop, skip, and a jump towards resolving to do better. So please, show us how. Help us help you.
He's like, what the fuck?
Forgive me, but are they...
Thy distant collaborators, indeed.
Hail, fellow! Well met! You'd be a member of the Forum, would you? It's an honor and a pleasure to meet you at last.
Aww, this is cute.
I'm Livingway, Hydaelyn's right paw. That last bit is very important, as am I. If I may humbly say so myself.
I bid you welcome to our star, Livingway. On behalf of the Forum, I thank you for traveling such a distance to meet us. As you have surmised, preparations for the Exodus have not proceeded as smoothly as we had hoped. I should be happy to personally escort you to our headquarters in Sharlayan, where you may advise us as you deem fit.
Yes, and they can see actual trees. I mean, they see trees here, but they're covered in snow. Puddingway.
'Twas with reluctance that I set aside the great work of readying the moon for habitation. Be assured that I did so only after the Loporrits made plain their earnest desire to come hither, and I myself felt a growing certainty that their contributions here would prove invaluable.
Isn't there like tons of them anyway? So there should be some left over up there.
'Tis trite, perhaps, but I followed my heart.
Good to have a few back.
For a time, at least. Nevertheless, 'twas worth the journey to find present company well. Wilt thou attend us at the forum and lend thine own wisdom?
Of course. Sorry.
If that's all quite settled, can we start moving before Eorzea catches his death? Even I'm freezing out here.
Can somebody get pudding way some pudding, please? Like, it can't be that hard.
Oh, I dare say you'll warm up quickly once you're aboard the airship. Sat shoulder to shoulder with our fur-covered friends.
Please, somebody help pudding way. I wonder if they're just wandering around here. Oh, damn it. Okay, well, we're back here. Final Days isn't here yet. That's good. I dare say Master Fortuno was as nonplussed as we to learn the identity of Hydaelyn's lunar custodians. As he will soon discover, they have much and more to offer the Forum. Might I suggest we return to the Annex forthwith? We may yet have time to discuss thy recent adventures ere we are summoned to the rostra. Okay. Get ready to cry. They are not gonna believe it. Oh, Y'shtola is back. And Thancred. Not that I'm complaining, Eorzea, but I wasn't expecting to see you quite so soon. Nor I thee. In extolling the virtues of Etheirys, I did inadvertently awaken in the Loporits a desire to avert our beloved star's demise. And pudding. Krile tells us you have obtained new knowledge that may aid us in our ongoing efforts. I've news to share regarding the study of the ethereal sea, but your findings are certain to be of greater interest, and so I would rather hear them first. To what revelations did Hydaelyn's Elpis flower lead? Where do I even begin? Then this dynamis is what drives the final days. If it and Akasha are one and the same, this all but proves Nidana's theory. Were an entity, through sheer force of emotion, to channel this vast dormant reservoir into a raging river, its power might surpass even that of ether. But if our Sar is so replete with ether, said entity would need to be outside its influence to effectively manipulate the dynamis of the great expanse. Meteion. Or rather, the sorrow and suffering of fallen civilizations that she has been hoarding for millennia. Untold anguish and fear and hatred drawn from the very corner of the universe. All for a singular purpose. The destruction of Etheirys. Then our foe is no longer some unknowable calamity. He's like, let's go kill her. We have but one aim, to defeat Meteion. You make it sound so simple, but you're not wrong. Vanquish Meteion and we deliver the world from the final days. But to even attempt it, there are two conditions. First, we must determine her location. Before Meteion escaped, an enchantment was placed upon her by Vina, the woman who would become Hydaelyn. The implications of temporal magics are not entirely understood, and so we cannot assume that our Hydaelyn and the Vina you met in Elpis are one and the same. Nevertheless, due to her intrinsic qualities as an all-powerful being, I'd wager that Hydaelyn possesses the knowledge we seek. Whether she would share that knowledge with us, however, remains to be seen. After all, she intends for us to flee Etheirys, not to stay. Do you suppose she has abandoned her pursuit of Meteion? The Vinaina would never give up. Exactly. That's my impression too. Otherwise, she wouldn't have used me as a conduit for her will, or provided such clues such as the Elpis flower. I believe she has been waiting for mankind's answer to Hermes' question. The meaning. Whatever that means. So, what's the second condition? We must find a means to reach Meteion. Naturally, our chosen method will depend entirely upon wheresoever she has made her nest. Right. At the edge of the universe. Then communing with Hydaelyn must by necessity come first. Did you and Master Matoya have any luck with your investigation into the Ethereal Sea? Sadly not. Though we enlisted the help of Arenvald and other Echo-blessed allies, we couldn't detect so much as a whisper from Hydaelyn, even from within the Antitower. Master Matoya is of the opinion that in the years since abandoning it, the Forum has found some other method of receiving instructions from Hydaelyn. If so, it would most likely be some form of apparatus for observing the Ethereal Sea, built closer to home. Hello? Ojika Sunjika. Sorry to interrupt, we've just received word from the Forum. Your presence is required in the Rostra, where they intend to discuss the Great Exodus. Okay. We're being called, summoned, and Father was able to persuade them. They're finally taking us seriously. Let's hear what they have to say. Okay. Another big Forum meeting. I have arriveth. The Forum is in session, and as such, the Rostra is closed to visitors. You know who I am? A scion of the 7th Dawn? Very well, you may wait in the corridor. Of course, entry will only be permitted on the condition you leave your armaments at the door. Lest you forget, this sacred institution holds rational discord in the highest. The implements of war are expressly forbidden. I think this is the first time we've been able to walk around in here. In order to accommodate the 99 members of the Forum, the seating in their assembly hall is arranged in the shape of a spiral viewed from above. One is reminded of the symbol emblazoned upon the Sharlayan flag, the nautilus shell that keeps the water of knowledge. Very nice, very nice. Yay, there's our buddy.
There is a matter I wish to raise with you before we enter. We are here to listen and to learn. But if the Forum's plans are more or less what I expect, then I should like to make a proposal that will serve our ends.
Okay, let's hear it.
By your leave, of course.
I don't see why not. Your words and wits have gotten us this far.
Agreed. I will present our queries so that you may consider the most advantageous way to advance your proposal without distraction.
Thank you, everyone.
If I may have your attention, the ad hoc session will now commence. The purpose of today's assembly is to brief the Scions of the 7th Dawn at their request on the Great Exodus.
Okay.
You may enter.
I wonder what their request is. A proposal from Alfie.
On behalf of the Forum, I commend your heroic actions on the Magna Glacies. We shall not soon forget your service to us and the people of Radzad-Han. The Satrap, whom we have informed of the refugees' new arrangements, sings your praises as well. As an expression of our gratitude, we will endeavor to answer your questions as fully and openly as we are able.
Yeah,
Then
I'd like to think so.
First, it is the Forum's objective to ferry the life and knowledge of this star to the moon. Am I correct?
You are. It is for this purpose that Sharlayan has labored these many long years. We have collected biological samples and scientific records from across the star. When the time comes, they will be moved from their places in Labyrinthos and Numenon and conveyed to safety. Once that critical task has been accomplished, we will begin transporting the Sharlayan citizenry, which has been categorized into groups. The earliest arrivals are to ensure hospitable environs for those who come after. Following our people, we will send those of other nations in turn, beginning with our allies.
Interesting. They didn't even do like some sort of a international lottery or anything. They're just like, our people. Makes sense, in a way.
Radzat Han was foremost among these. But since the final days have already come to Thavnair, we saw fit to include the refugees with earlier groupings.
Right.
An ambitious plan. You have accounted for the safety of all nations and tribes, then?
As many as we can.
And how, pray tell, do you decide who to leave behind?
Good question.
To journey beyond the sky is an unprecedented and immeasurably difficult endeavor. Introducing sources of inevitable conflict would condemn all to certain death.
I wonder what he means by that.
Questions as to the validity of that approach aside, are your plans proceeding apace? We're under the impression that your primary means of celestial transportation is incomplete.
And now they're all done here.
If only in that it does not meet our optimal parameters, that is correct. This Ark, as some have taken to calling it, is fully operational and could be launched even today. However, the final days have progressed more quickly than we anticipated. At present, the ship is incapable of attaining speeds sufficient to meet our evacuation targets. Should we put the vessel into service, as it is now, we will be unable to travel to the moon and back quickly enough to complete the necessary number of trips. Precious lives and knowledge will be lost.
Seven hells. Is there anything to be done?
The ether burner, the primary means of propulsion once the craft is in the space between stars, is undergoing testing to determine whether it can be made more efficient. Though cargo is being loaded for the initial phase of the Exodus, we are prepared to continue our experimentation up to the day before launch, should it prove necessary.
Okay.
What if the Scions were to solve your problem?
I wonder where they're testing it, aside from the moon.
We shall help devise a means to improve the ether burner's efficiency, on 2 conditions. If we succeed, you must allow us to meet with Hydaelyn.
Ooh, this was the proposal.
'Twas simple enough to deduce. You have a Concord, and so you would never have abandoned the anti-tower had you no other means of communication. One far more convenient, I suspect.
That look.
The second condition, also to be met upon our success, is that we be permitted to propose another use for your Ark.
I'm willing to bet he's gonna say fly to the edge of the universe and kill Meteion.
We would be at liberty to refuse this proposal.
Of course. If we cannot prove its merit to the 99 here, who are we to stake on it the lives of all peoples of this star?
Delightful as always, Master Alfino.
He's just enjoying this.
Oh, we couldn't have asked for a finer plan. Allow us to solve this complex engineering problem of which we were entirely unaware until moments ago. What could possibly go wrong? the satire writes itself.
Glad you are appreciative of it.
Yet, what field has not benefited from a change in perspective? When we are at wit's end, what we need is not the same dry theories recited ad nauseam, but fresh inspiration.
Exactly. I have no idea how to make a moon
For one,
propulsion system work.
My erstwhile students to provide it, and I find their terms to be perfectly acceptable.
Hell yeah. That's our boy, whose name I can't remember.
Order! Order! We have no time to waste on debate. I call a vote. All in favor of agreeing to the Scion's terms?
It's surprising they're so receptive to this. We didn't really explain anything and we're kind of like hijacking their plan. Potentially dooming them if we're idiots.
71 in favor, 28 against. The ayes have it.
Barnier! My man!
Fortuneau, as the architect of this project, you are the best candidate to show them its current state. And bear in mind that regardless of your personal misgivings, this is the will of the Forum.
That scolding look.
Very well.
I call this session to a close. Return to your tasks with urgency. The final days wait for none.
Yeah, I guess they liked what they saw in Garlemald, and Thavner, we kind of helped them out a lot, and it seems to have paid off. This is cool. Sorry about not letting the rest of you in on my plan. I was admittedly thinking on my feet for the most part, but since we require both a means of communing with Hydaelyn and reaching Meteion, in the spur of the moment I saw involving ourselves with the completion of the Ark as a way to work towards both objectives simultaneously. However, we must keep our end of the bargain by solving the problem of the Ether Burner. I'd like to think it is not a challenge beyond our combined expertise, or at least the expertise of our extended circle of associates. Sid! Hey, I've been wondering where those boys have been. It might behoove us to learn how an Ether Burner actually works before we attempt to improve it though. Alright. Fortuneau's ability to maintain a stiff upper lip is being sorely tested. As instructed, I shall take you to see the Ether Burner. Meet me outside the Archeon. I trust you can make your own way there. Okay, back to Labyrinthos. So the Ark is being built in Labyrinthos. Hardly surprising. Where else could they conceal such a massive undertaking? Our destination lies in the lower levels. The Forum in its wisdom has granted you access to the Archeon's lift. Step inside and have Ophaline take you to the medial circuit. Yay! We don't have to use the crazy cave of doom. Proceed to the medial circuit. I have sent your associates ahead to Logisticon Alpha, on the other side of Merial Agronomics. Actually, there is something I've been meaning. Now we finally get to it. No, never mind. It can wait. Let us attend to the matter at hand. We all know what he's thinking. We are to wait here while our father arranges for us to use the next lift. Here being Logisticon Alpha, where the atmospheric conditions of Labyrinthos are regulated. Water is drawn from underground and dispersed as vapor, stimulating the formation of artificial clouds and rain. By manipulating the temperature and air circulation, they are able to create the ideal environment for the growth and preservation of the biological samples kept here. So that's how they do it. Hold on, how do you know so much about it? My father brought me here as a child. Oh, what? And left me behind? Actually, you're the one who left me behind. When you went off somewhere with grandfather. The night before, I'd been asking father how clouds are made. So he decided to show me. It was fascinating. I peppered him with questions the entire time. It is all too easy to take for granted the many interweaving aspects of the natural world. To grow inured to the wonders. But having gained an understanding of the complex mechanisms employed by the Loperites in recreating a similar environment, I have come to view such processes in a new light. The subterranean gardens of Labyrinthos, the lunar prison forged to contain the ancient Zodiac, the habitations built for all mankind beneath the moon's surface. Each unique, yet undeniably similar. 'Tis no mere coincidence. Ever since Hydaelyn unfolded to us the grim fate that awaits Etheris, every essential resource we could spare has been delivered to Labyrinthos in preparation for the Great Exodus. But that is not all. It is also a testing ground for the technologies that will allow us to settle on distant stars. Though the Loperites have endeavoured to make the moon inhabitable, that is not our final destination. Mankind must learn to propagate life where there is none, to thrive where all is barren. Alas, time is not on our side. I have arranged for you all to enter the central circuit. It is there that most of our preparations for the Great Exodus are carried out, the construction of the Ark among them. Though our plans have been made public, access remains highly restricted. You, however, will not be subject to said restrictions, and will have free rein to come and go as you please. Such was the will of the Forum, after all. We will prove ourselves worthy of their trust. Your trust. Bro, I don't know, I tried to give him a benefit of the doubt a little bit, but at times he feels like, he's just like, just like turns away, like, come on, Dad? Seriously? Feel bad for Alfie, man, he's trying. He's really trying his hardest. The ether burner is being constructed not far from here. Overseeing the work is Kokkol Dankkol, after whom the forge is named. Once the necessary introductions have been made, I shall leave you with him to discuss the particulars. This way. Is it a building? Like, what is it? I'm guessing this is it, but...
I could swap them out.
No. Is he gonna mow it?
Done that. Damn near lost my eyebrows. Think, Kokkol, think! We'd be well on our way to paradise. Visionaries patting themselves on the backs for their grand accomplishments if you'd only think!
Yes, that does sound rather lovely.
Yeah! I mean, masterful, you know, what a pleasant surprise. We're not blasting off already, are we?
The schedule remains unchanged, for better or worse. Which is why the Forum has elected to accept assistance in resolving the ether burner conundrum.
Rocket scientist extraordinaire here to help.
Not seen you lot down here before.
There are Archons among their number, but engineering is not their expertise.
No, what?
Nevertheless, the Forum concedes the slim possibility that they may have insights to offer. If not, you are at liberty to return them to the surface, by whatever means you see fit.
Excuse me?
I assure you that won't be necessary. Now, about your troubles with the ether burner.
Aye, aye, I'll walk you through it. Suppose I could do with a change of pace. As the name ought to tell you, the ether burner burns ether, ambient or otherwise, and transforms it into motive force. Think of it like a giant bomb that never stops exploding.
Okay.
Even out in that black void where the ether's right sparse, it's strong enough to move our ark. And it probably won't kill you like an actual bomb. But it ain't perfect.
Sarge.
According to my calculations, to travel to the moon and back fast enough for the forum's liking, the conversion rate needs to be 6% more efficient. A measly 6%, you say? But if I could have squeezed even another 0.6 out of it, don't you think I'd have built it that way in the first place?
Sorry, man.
Hast thou consulted with the Labyrinths?
Yes, they too are conducting their own research, for lack of a ready answer. The moon's propulsion systems are considerable, naturally, yet they are commensurately massive. It is no easy feat to convert their technology into an efficient means of propulsion for a teeny tiny toy boat, as they say, as I most certainly do not.
Yes, exactly! Damn it all, I asked for refined adamantite and they send me uppity rabbits with inscrutable, ancient, incompatible technology! You trying to drive me mad?
Do you speak of Allegan refined adamantite, perchance?
What do you know, Graha? What are you thinking?
You know of it?
Only in the most general terms, I'm afraid. 'Twas an alloy of Allegan make, but the secrets of its production were closely guarded. As I recall, the record stated it was vital to Dalamud's construction and launch.
Ah.
Aye, that's the stuff. No material more conductive far as I know. Slotting some ends like blowing up a dam and watching the river of ether come rushing through. Ain't a living soul that knows how to make it, though. We were fortunate enough to salvage some for the ether burner, just a wee bit, mind, from a chunk of Dalamud that came hurtling into the Northern Empty during the calamity. With more, well, that extra 6% efficiency would be child's play. It's a crying shame that we've no other sources.
Surely the many shards of Dalamud scattered throughout Eorzea would suffice.
Right.
Why not get the refined adamantite from them?
Oh, we tried, believe you me. But only a few specialised pieces would have had any in them to begin with. Drive calls from Ragnarok-class internment hulks. Those are the prize bits we really need. But according to the Gleaners, getting to them means delving deep into the shards. And the defences are still very operational and very eager to blow them up. It's rough going in there, even for the cream. Not sure they'd make it out alive.
Damn, I wonder who would be capable of something of this magnitude of operation. Huh.
Weren't we near that part of the Ragnarok when we went to destroy Bahamut?
Oh! Ooh, it's a little Coils option, like dialogue change, I think. You want me to go and fetch the Whatsits? A white raven's ghost. It haunts me. Greens on the nipples.
Heavens, are you alright? You look pale as a... Well...
As a white
Best
raven?
put that battle from your mind for now. Deep breaths. That's it.
There are multiple internment hulks in Eorzea alone, so handling this ourselves may not be the most efficient option. Rather, if we could salvage adamantite from the shards simultaneously... Thancred, is the link shell we established before you went to Garlemald still active?
Of course. The floor is yours.
Wait, we're gonna use Vritra?
What's all this?
Or, wait, what?
Gathering firewood, so to speak. We alone can accomplish little, but joined by others, we may yet build a bonfire to carry us heavensward.
Wow, he said the thing.
This is Alphino. The Scions have need of you.
Maybe the B team?
Understood. I will contact the Lord Commander and dispatch our finest at once.
Or just the contingent?
My sisters are somewhat preoccupied with the final days, so I will lead the 12-foot expedition myself.
Are you aware of any other sources of refined adamantite?
Logically, such an invaluable alloy would have been utilized solely where absolutely necessary, in components intended to conduct or collect surpassing amounts of ether.
Maybe the tower.
Any extant instrumentation or devices would have likely found their way into the hands of etherologists or enthusiasts.
Magical artifacts of Allagan design? The Eastern Alliance will send word to one and all. Are there other ways we may offer aid? No shards of the Lesser Moon scar our soil, but our stake in this cause is no less for it.
Is there anything in Othard that might be of use to you?
That big thing, no? The big crazy light show thing?
What did you say? Oh, you got friends in far places, lad. Any road, if you're offering, I wouldn't say no to one of those Far Eastern sacred relics. Some of them can hold enough ether to summon a whole damn primal.
Ooh.
A source like that with the ether burner. And 3, 2, 1, kaboom!
We do have Susano's sword we can get, I guess.
I gather you heard his explosive enthusiasm. Might you secure us a suitable relic?
It shall be done. I know little of machines, but I promise we will do our utmost to gather the materials you need to finish your starship. I am glad for the work, in truth. Better to busy oneself than wait and fret over disasters foretold.
Then why are we all still standing about yapping? There's plunder for the taking.
This guy.
And I'm a born plunderer.
Wow, we did not know, bro. We didn't know. Thanks for telling us.
I'll be an old Sharlayan before you know it. Start mixing the grog.
What does that even mean?
I'm certain that can be arranged. Thank you all, and do be careful.
Just like that.
Aye, just like that. Our refined adamantite is on its way.
Prime order.
Now let us consider our next steps, shall we? There's yet much to be done.
Next day delivery, baby. God, Alfie loves being like the commander. Aww. Come on, show us a little smile, Dad. No? There is pride in there, I know it. We will pry it from him. It's times like these we're reminded how famous or infamous Alphinaud has become. Who'd have thought he could achieve so much with a single Link Pearl conversation? As we're expecting rather a lot of visitors in the near future, I'd best return to the surface and inform the relevant parties, aka Tataru. I also have a contact of my own that might be worth a try. Oh, and who might that be? That's for me to know, and you to find out. And on that note, I leave matters here in your capable hands. Best of luck! Who do we think it is? Is it Emeliance? Meanwhile in Ul'dah. In Ul'dah? Nanamo? Nanamo!
Our course of action is clear. We must harvest refined adamantite from the shards of Dalamud and procure arcane relics of Allagan make. Summon the best and brightest of our immortal flames and form an expeditionary party at once. Call upon the Sultan Sworn and Brass Blades for support as you must.
I've never noticed how how weird her dress is. She looks like a bell pepper.
Papashan, send word to the guilds. We will require the expertise of master artisans if we are to have any hope of identifying and recovering these elusive materials. Viergeist, we have need of your stone torches. They are to assist the immortal flames in scouring the ruins and to help secure the surrounding areas. I trust I can count on your support.
As commander of the Stone Torches, my son Zimberg will personally see it done.
That is absolutely Vreetra's voice. Absolutely.
Pippin, I would have you lead the raiding party. Assemble your finest, and with Tizona's blade, clear the way. Lord Lolorito, I pray you take charge of the search for Allagan relics. Surely you know of some being traded on open or clandestine markets, or sleeping in collectors' vaults.
Why do we trust this guy again?
Of course, I ask not that you do this out of the kindness of your heart. By all means, profit on the transactions. I wish you the joy of it. The final days descend upon our world. If circumstances are truly as dire as they say, Uldar's best efforts may be for naught. And yet, when we Eorzeans rose from the ashes to rebuild our broken realm, did we not learn one simple truth? That which seems all but impossible to overcome alone may yet be possible if we stand together.
Yay!
It was the Scions who united us then, and it is the Scions who call upon us now.
Yay!
Uldar will answer that call. We will summon our courage and join the fight for our world's future.
Yay!
You know your duties. I, Nanamo Ulnamo, 17th in the line of Ul, bid you good luck and Godspeed.
Nanamo, Nanamo, Nanamo. It doesn't hit as hard when she's not perched on Raban's shoulder, not gonna lie. You know? Meanwhile, in the Black Shroud. Is that Yoshi P? He still hasn't got a haircut.
We fielded a goodly number, but our ranks are heavy with healers, and an abundance of restorative magics will be of little help in destroying Dalamud's defenses.
Glare? Hello?
Still, it has ever been thus with Gridania. We must steel ourselves for a protracted engagement.
In that case, might I suggest taking us along?
What the heck are you guys doing here?
Commander Hext, what are you doing here?
That's what I said.
None of the shards in Girabania are big enough to hold an internment hulk. So we said to ourselves, why not lend our neighbors a hand? We thought you might be short on people with a talent for breaking things.
Actually, I guess it geographically makes sense because Girabania is separated by Belsar's Wall, which is Gridania, right?
While it pains me to admit it, you are right. Are our deficiencies so plain to see?
It might have been a lifetime ago, but I was once one of the Scions assigned to the Shroud. I know this forest well. I know your people. And I know we will be stronger if we fight this fight together.
Then I will impose upon you with a clear conscience. Come, let us speak of how to integrate our forces.
Cool.
I won't let it all be for nothing.
Oh.
I promise you, Papalimo.
Papalimo. We're really building here. Meanwhile in Kurthus.
There you are. We've no time to waste, brother. Everyone has already... Ah.
Artuaro, we haven't seen him in a while. Wagons. Please tell me it's Reisvelger. Please tell me it's Reisvelger. Please tell me it's Reisvelger.
That was a roar. A dragon's roar.
Come on, BB. Wait, where is he? Aww. Meanwhile, in the Ruby Sea.
And so, in summation, the Eastern Alliance, as well as the Honourable Lord Lolorito himself, reached out to me for assistance in procuring these treasures of the divine, and I, in turn, do beseech the Confederacy for aid.
He's pair. Hello.
Is that...
Hancock? What a surprise this is. And a fortuitous one at that. I have a favor to ask, you see.
Yes. Oh, it's Siryu. Ooh. Let's go. Alright, we got like a little bit of a, what you would call a montage-y sequence there of all our previous encountered friends, our acquaintances from across the years. That was cool, that was nice. Though our friends are searching for refined adamantite and secret relics, we will only know if they meet your requirements once they have arrived. In the meantime, is there aught else we might do to be of service? You've already done more than enough. If I had to say though, I could use someone who knows a thing or two about Allagan technology. You there, the lad with the red eyes and matching hair. You seem to know more than the average scholar. He's pretty smart, yeah. Ha! If only Master Kokkol knew how right he was. While he and Graha establish a rapport, why don't we help with preparations for the Great Exodus? Indeed, this would mean going above and beyond the terms of our arrangement. But I propose this not to curry favour. As confident as I am that we will succeed, we must be ready for every eventuality. This would also be an opportunity to familiarise ourselves with the logistics of traversing the Great Expanse, and if nothing else, it beats twiddling our thumbs while we wait for the adamantite. Sure? Well, ain't you a bunch of helpful buggers? If you've a mind to lend a hand, I know where you ought to go. Sharlayan Hamlet is lousy with researchers and scholarly types, busying themselves preparing for the Exodus. Bah, that lot'll need all the help they can get. Okay. Well then, off we go. From what I can tell, a lot of the people actually live down here. I don't know how much help we can offer, but I dare say they'll benefit from some of that fresh inspiration Scholar Montishian mentioned. Let's start by asking around, ideally without getting in anyone's way. Let's meet by the Aetheryte once our work is done. Okay, talk to the locals, I get it. Helping with the Ark, even with all the power Master Kokkol's managed to squeeze out of the Aether Burner, it's still not enough apparently. And now I hear the final days have arrived. Horrible creatures running rampant all over. If only we'd begun the Exodus sooner. People are dying, and there'll be no end to it if we don't fulfill our duties. But we will. We spent years preparing for this moment. Believe in the plan, and all will be well. Fancy meeting you here too. Our friends in the forum brought us to see their teeny tiny toy boat, which was quite impressive considering they didn't use any creation magics. What we're really interested in is Eorzea itself, though we now find ourselves in a sort of funny underground miniaturized version of it. We were hoping the forum would give us a guided tour, but it appears they're rather preoccupied. Honestly, all that time to prepare and they're still not ready. I suppose we'll just have to show ourselves around, or at least that's what we were planning to do until we chanced upon Urianger and your good self. Since you're both dawdling about, engaging in idle chit-chat, perhaps you could show us a few points of interest. Would that be fun? A tour of Labyrinthos? An unexpected yet prudent suggestion. Given the similarities betwixt this artificial environment and Bestway's burrow, it would be in our best interest to have the Loporits acquaint themselves with those conditions deemed optimal by their Sharlayan collaborators. I fear, however, that continued reliance upon my limited knowledge would risk narrowing rather than broadening their perspectives. Mayhap thou art better suited to lead this venture. You little fucking bitchery. I'm gonna get you back for this one. I'm gonna get you back, I swear it. What a marvelous idea. Might we begin with that great big what's-it over yonder? Eh? Ah yes, the what's-it. I shall leave its explanation to two. Observe the mushroom-like thing. These are tanks. It's a little hard to see from here, but is that a golden pipe connected to the top of those tanks? And I can see through that window another pipe at the bottom. Ah, this must be for purifying water drawn up from below. Is that a... How'd that get down here? It would appear that the concept you observed in another time, another place, was approved for life in the wider world. Somehow. Huh. Interesting. That looks like the trees in Greatest Endsville. Now it makes sense. That's where they store the water. Ah. Oh, I see. That's how they draw up the water. There's probably some spiral-shaped mechanism inside it too. Wow. Well, if I were to hazard a guess, water drawn from underground, presumably with some other mechanism, is purified here and stored in that tower before being distributed elsewhere. I'm right, aren't I? I knew it! A design brilliant in its simplicity. I dare say it would take only a moment to install it in even the harshest of environments. For us Loporits, that is. Indeed, securing a reliable source of water is of the utmost importance for any fledgling settlement. We have read, however, that the people of Eorzea sometimes make their homes in arid deserts and such. How are they able to survive? Rare. Areas near waterfalls are common sights. So wherever you choose to live, you're never far from water. Oh dear. I wonder we won't be able to procure the necessary amount. We can provide enough water to keep them from drying out completely, but it would appear they rely on it far more than we'd anticipated. Oh god, that would have been a disaster. A few adjustments may be in order. Once we've calculated the average rate of consumption per individual, it may also be worth learning more about how exactly they obtain their water in the first place. Master Alphonode spoke of the machinery responsible for that during our journey through Logisticon Alpha, did he not? Mayhap the Loporits will share his appreciation for the engineering marvel. Oh yes, that sounds absolutely splendid. We must journey beyond the sanctuary of Sharlayan Hamlet. I shall lead the way. You mean we'll have to brave the untamed wilderness? A valid concern indeed. We could not help but notice the many dangerous looking creatures with big nasty teeth lurking beyond the safe confines of this settlement. Were we not escorted here by burly custodians, I dread to think what would have become of us. Regrettably, to many a hungry predator with the aforementioned big nasty teeth, Loporits may appear to be a potential and rather appetizing source of sustenance. Might I impose upon thee to assist in securing safe passage to Logisticon Alpha? For my part, I shall act as an escort to Living Way and Cooking Way. I entrust Singing Way and Growing Way to thy care. A more valiant protector they could not wish for. Godspeed. Why do I feel like something's gonna go wrong with us? If it's all the same to you, I'd rather not be eaten by some horrid beastie. Come along, Growing Way. To the water extraction, what's it? Marvelous, simply marvelous. So this is where magic, or science rather, takes place. The perfect environment to sustain life artificially created. The knowledge we'll gain here will be essential when we start looking for new stars for your kind to inhabit. Apparently, most of them don't even have air for you to breathe. You're all very lucky that Eorzea just so happens to provide you with everything you need to thrive. Or did mankind turn out the way they are because of the available resources, I wonder. Huh. Either way, it's nothing short of miraculous, and I cannot wait to see more of it. This is all very wonderful, I'm sure, but I was rather hoping to learn more about your nourishment provision facilities. Or in other words, where is the food? Oh, I know what these are. Grapes, yes? Let's see if they're as delicious as they look. So sweet, so sour. The taste is much like a ripe philosopher's carrot, and yet the texture is entirely different. The contrast between the outer skin and the fruit within is most peculiar, though far from unpleasant. Yes, I think I'll try another. Well, that's certainly given me food for thought. Though in far less visceral manner than any philosopher's carrot. But tell me, what is your opinion of grapes? Meh. What do we got? Pumpkins. Are they some sort of enormous round carrots? Blech! It's so hard and flavorless. I may as well be chewing a piece of wood. That all but confirms it. These are nothing more than misbegotten failures masquerading as goodly carrots. Stop, stop, stop! Can't you see that these are pumpkins? And no one with any sense would try eating them raw. You're supposed to cook them first. And perhaps even these hard blocks of plant matter can become as delicious as the orange I sampled. What are these, lemons? Oh boy. Oh boy, are you in for a treat cooking way. As I have no idea how these are eaten, I'll just bite into it. My tongue! Is this poison? I'm rather enamored with the grapes and oranges, less so the pumpkin, though I learned the hard way they're not to be eaten raw. Then there was the lemon. The deceiver. I'd hate for you to leave with a bad taste in your mouth, in more ways than one. So I'll give you this lemon muffin I baked. If this doesn't change your opinion, nothing will. More lemon! Have I not suffered enough? This is... delicious! Of course. I know we won't be able to take every species with us. No doubt the Forum agonized over what was worth preserving, and what will be consigned to history. Hard choices, but make them we must if we are to survive. Once a civilization has fulfilled the basic requirements for survival, it will inevitably seek to eliminate all forms of negativity and achieve perfection. Yet civilizations since time immemorial have deemed the pursuit of perfection as progress. They pay no heed to the costs incurred in their futile quest, and all too often become the architects of their own demise, their dreams forever unfulfilled. What then is the alternative? The answer lies in knowing that our existence can never be perfect, to be content with what we have and make the most of it. When life gives you lemons, make lemon muffins. Don't worry, there'll be room for your crops too. We'll work together to preserve as many of Eorzea species as possible, if you're up to the challenge. Yes, of course. I look forward to it. Well, all this has been highly productive. Probably. Let's go and see if Eorzea and the others have run out of machinery to inspect, shall we? They're gonna be friends, aww. Oh, I was able to glean a fair bit from the researchers while helping to move their cargo. Preparations have proceeded without interruption here, despite news of the coming end. We have the forum's leadership to thank for that. That doesn't mean the people aren't worried though. Quite the opposite. Knowing disaster could strike at any moment, they hurry to complete their work, equally aware that a single error could be the difference between life and death, and we can hardly tell them there's no cause for concern. Though aided by our goodly growing way, we may yet find other ways to lighten their burden. Me? Be of use to people? I'm honored that you would think me so capable, but I'm not sure I'm up to the challenge. Nevertheless, I believe in thee. No. There is naught we'd like more than to ease the hearts of the fine people of Eorzea, and learn more about them while we're at it. Thou hast a gift of finding souls in need of succor. Pray seek thee out the distressed and apprehensive, and inform them that help is at hand. I shall wait them here, that I might introduce each to a suitable Loperid. Is this really the best use of my tasks, of my abilities right now for these tasks? Oh, I do so look forward to that. A place for every Loperid and every Loperid in their place. We're really being put to the test in terms of chores right now, I'm just gonna say it. Concerns? Now there's no point in worrying at this stage, it'll only make the work go that much slower. Okay, she's cool. What am I thinking about? The medical facilities on the ship, of course. I designed them with the assistance of our sages and chirurgeons, but to imagine every illness or injury one might face in that great expanse is beyond any of us, to say nothing of the effects that living out there indefinitely might have on the body. Go talk to the rabbits. The crew from the moon? Why did I not think of that? Perfect. One down. Eat! Bro, this is some Company of Heroes shit right now. What the fuck, man? Come on. Woo! We're done. Yay! Everybody's happy! Yay! Even though the world's gonna blow up. We're all gonna die.
Phew! Oh, finally some rest! Why, I haven't spoken so much in... well, in forever.
I see what they're doing. Okay, devs. Okay, writers.
Lively, isn't it? The town is abuzz. Everyone eager to meet with our friends from the moon.
'Twould behoove you to consult with Sleeping Way. As our moon's pilot, his advice should be most pertinent.
I'm impressed. Truth be told, I struggle to tell one from another. No offense intended, of course.
None taken. After you and your friends left Mare Elementorum, we spent no small amount of time with your Urianger. Oh, the conversations we had.
Urianger.
He told us all about Etheris, answered our every question, no matter how trifling or trivial. Look, every page filled to the margins with knowledge.
Oh my god.
When I first arrived, I was struck by how little I knew. It was daunting. But then I realized that, were it not for Urianger and his teachings, we'd still be stuck on the moon, gazing at your world and wondering what we've been missing.
No wonder he came back.
What would they think if they could see Urianger now? I dare say they'd be more than a bit surprised. And impressed, no doubt. Master Louisoix, Minfilia, Papalimo, and not to forget...
No.
Oh there. Heard there was a visiting expert who we might bother with a few questions. I take it you'd be the one.
Wait.
Yeah, yes, I am.
Is that her parents? We never talked to her parents. Oh.
Wilson and Moenbryda, Sharlayan's foremost researchers in the field of teleportation magic, and Moenbryda's parents.
It hath been some time. 'Tis good to see you in good health.
I honestly thought it was her.
Likewise, old friend. Moenbryda and I were most honored to answer the call. Never expected this reunion, though, did we, dear?
Arthur, the nerve.
Sending that letter, then running off to the gods know where.
Oh.
Do you have any idea how worried we were?
I'm sorry. 'Twas remiss of me not to deliver the news in person. No, more than that. 'Twas I who...
Our daughter was disillusioned after Master Leveilleurs left her behind. The day the Scions called upon her was the happiest I'd seen her in years. She made her every choice of her own free will. No one could have ever forced her to do otherwise.
That's true.
Don't blame yourself for her death. Celebrate her life. You know that's what she'd want.
If there is one thing we resent you for, it was that we could not be there to mourn her with you.
Aww.
Reading the words you penned in that shaky hand, we must have cried as much for you as we did for her.
I'm sorry. I truly, truly am. I knew not what to say. Knew not how to express my feelings.
That's a rare one.
The poems and platitudes of wiser men, musings on sadness and loss, studied and memorized, and meaningless in the moment.
Silly boy. We are all powerless before such grief. Even now, try as I might, the words escape me. But in our hearts, we know, we always know.
Hurry.
I remember when you were young, how the lads teased you for choosing the company of books over others. Our moon didn't take kindly to that. Be nice to Eorzea, she'd shout, and give them a walloping. No matter how many times we scolded her.
So we offered a suggestion. Rather than starting fights, why don't you be the bridge between Eorzea and the others? She had to mull it over for a while. Arms crossed, brow furrowed in intense thought. But from that day on, she never let you be alone. She'd drag you outside to play, pepper you with endless questions, read the same books you read, all to try and understand you that much better. I'm sure it was annoying and exhausting at the time, but she only ever had the best of intentions.
And look at you now, at the center of the crowd. The reason there even is a crowd, having brought these people together.
That's a lot of people for quite an intimate conversation. This is a little...
You've no idea how proud we are.
To see the boy, our daughter, trusted and believed in more than anyone, grow into the man she always knew he could be. I can see her in you too. Feel her. She walks with you wheresoever you go. So thank you, Eorzea, for being who you are.
No. Oh, I didn't know it was possible.
I think I can feel her too. The truth of her life. Not sorrow, but hope and love.
The face.
This Moenbryda. She was important to him, wasn't she?
You could ask the man himself.
Oh, no. But watching this exchange reminds me how much I've yet to learn about your world. And its people.
You can live here your entire life and hardly learn a thing. And that's why it's too soon for this to end.
Oh, we finally got the story resolution. Oh, to be sure that I am fine. I am. I know what it feels like, man. I know it all too well, this expansion. Full glad I am to see them too after so very long. Gladder still that I was in your company. As difficult as it was to accept their kindness, it would have been far harder had I faced them alone. Ahem. Thou hast my gratitude for lending courage to the Loporits. Not disposed to rest on their laurels, several of our guests have elected to accompany my countrymen to their stations. Some few may still come hither seeking counsel, and so I shall remain to aid them as need be. If thou art needed elsewhere, do not let me detain thee. As a matter of fact, I was hoping you might check on Eorzea. Last I saw, she was struggling to carry an enormous pile of boxes out the west gate. Phew. What are you doing out here? Helping, I guess? No, I don't mind if you help with the boxes, but it's far from the most exciting of tasks. Are you sure? Well, I appreciate the assistance. We need to get these to Eorzea. Time is short, of course, but they're full of organic specimens and samples, so try not to be too rough with them. Alphinaud should be waiting for us when we arrive. I'll see you there. You have my gratitude. But how did you come to be involved in this? I'm just a helpful guy. Then I suppose I have Thancred to thank as well. If you're wondering why we were tasked with bringing these boxes to Eorzea to begin with, so was I. It turns out that this is a base of operations of sorts. Those with final say as to what is included in the ship's manifest can be found here. Father included, I suspect. Hello? That should be everything. You carried all of that at once. Are you trying to injure yourself? Oh hush. They're lighter than they look. And not everyone has your delicate arms. I suppose we should let someone know that we finished. Theopoldin is in the courtyard. We can report to him. Why don't you come along? You should get credit for your assistance at least. Considering where we are, we might even learn something interesting. Okay. We've brought samples from Sharlayan Hamlet. Series 110. The crates are by the entrance. Ah, thank you. I'd expected one of my colleagues, but we're dreadfully short-handed. Just a moment. You're Fortuno's children, are you not? You knew our parents when they were young. What were they like? Pray spare no detail. I should like nothing more than to regale you. Alas, I am meant to be in charge here, and reams of paperwork want for submission. We can help with that. In exchange for the sort of stories our parents would never willingly divulge, of course. Very well then. There happen to be 3 sets of documents in need of delivery. So how about you each take one? Wait right there. They're so eager. Me too, to be honest. I want to hear some stories about Emilians from her younger days. You will find a forum representative waiting to collect these near the southernmost structure. I hope I haven't kept you waiting too long. Never mind Alphinaud and Eorzea. I'm certain they will be back soon enough. Pray keep this between us, but I sincerely hope you Scions succeed. The Exodus is, without a doubt, the most monumental undertaking in the history of the Forum, and so we must be circumspect in all respects. Risk is a privilege we cannot afford ourselves. At its heart, however, Sharlayan has ever been a nation of the curious, would be a tragedy indeed if we were the ones to stymie your pursuit of truth. Okay, thanks, reserved representative. We return, with not a scrap of paperwork remaining on our persons, you will note. You both have my thanks, and my apologies for sending you on an errand far below your ambitions. Why, even as a babe, you struggled out of your swaddling clothes, and this is quite enough of that, thank you. It was compromising stories of our parents that we'd asked to hear, to reiterate. Of course, of course. I've known your father for so long, I must have something. Well, as you know, part of why the Leveilleurs name garners such respect in Sharlayan is your family's storied history. You two can trace your ancestry directly to those who came aboard Nuncrep's Hope, a lineage few can claim. I've never thought much of it myself. It's not as though our forebears founded our nation, they were simply there when it happened. Nevertheless, it has traditionally been a point of pride. It is why Nuncrep's pronouncement, renounce the ways of war and pursue enlightenment through knowledge and reason, has ever been our family's creed. Until your grandfather's time, aye. Archon Louisoix looked not to Nuncrep's words but his deeds. He asserted in defiance of his peers that choosing to save the great and the small from the rising tides was the true mark of our founder's virtue. Perhaps it was his expertise, his knowledge of ancient prophecy, and the fall of civilizations that led him to conclude that to eschew conflict at every turn was to consign mankind to his doom. There will ever be conflict, and calamity will follow. Thus, to ignore the plight of those one might conceivably save is not wisdom. It is indolence. You remember his words well. Indeed, Archon Louisoix lived by that personal creed, and used every means at his disposal to bring succor to those in need, Sharlayan or no. No one loved and admired your grandfather more than his son. Yet Fortunato could not reconcile Louisoix's deeds with the philosophy of their forebears and his peers, a philosophy in which he believed so fervently, yet made a pariah of his father. Fortunato agonized over this contradiction for much of his life. Gods, father, a son may carry his father's blood, but his choices are his own to bear. Is it not always thus? Gods know Fortunato's a cranky old goat, so I'm sure you butt heads often enough. Yet even so, you must know that you're constantly in his thoughts, every moment of every day. And that is not an exaggeration in the slightest. No. You should have seen him when you were born. Barely recognizable he was, with a kind of dumbfounded grin I'd not seen since he took a fancy to your mother. Understandable. He was practically skipping when he told me the news. Take my word for it, he loves you to an embarrassing degree. But he is also frustratingly single-minded. Once he's decided that a given action is for the best, he will stay the course, no matter who or what opposes him. A profoundly annoying habit when you're on the other end of it, as I'm sure you will agree. I'll say. Thank you for your insight. When we next meet our parents, I shall mention that we spoke. Try not to get me into too much trouble now. I need the forum on my side. Speaking of which, I ought to be getting back to work. I have to make sure those specimens you brought make it to their proper places, or the cranky old goat will have my hide. We can speak again later. Hail, you three! I thought he was like some other dude. Graha! Surely Kokkol hasn't driven you out of the forge already? For better or worse, no. However, he has sent me a task that requires more than my single pair of hands. And here you are. I could use at least one of you, but I won't object to more. Unfortunately, Eorzea and I have prior commitments, and we have delayed too long as it is. What about you two? Can you spare the time? Of course. I have all the time in the world. It's not like the world is about to end or anything. Perfect. This shouldn't take long. Did everything go smoothly out here? I thought as much. No major complications to speak of inside either, and the water ether appears to be venting properly. I expect Kokkol will have seen a difference in his forge flames by the time I return. Since I have you, there was another matter I thought to discuss with you. Nothing terribly important, merely something I've been considering. Part of this I shared with everyone, yet you, and only you, have been to Elpis. Okay. As we have established, refined adamantite is a product of Alag, of the Empire's twilight years in fact. It was a material which saw much use as part of the Allagan's efforts to extend beyond the bounds of this world. Dalamud, of course, being the most prominent. Of those who would push further, expand Allag's empire to encompass the heavens and the stars above. Perhaps the greatest was its infamous technologist, Amon. Did he remember his life as Hermes? Amon wanted to travel the Sea of Stars? He did. He must have had his own reasons, however, for there is no evidence to suggest that he retained memories of his life as an ancient. He only joined the Ashuns once the Empire was all but dust, as you know. If not his memory, though, what drove him to pursue the idea with such fervor? Because they wiped, so even Hermes' memory was wiped. So where did it come from? That's actually a really interesting question. This may seem far-fetched, but what if souls, like minds, have a personality, so to speak? A natural disposition towards which they are inclined. We know with relative certainty that it was the gross decadence and inexorable decline of Allag that moved Amon to resurrect Emperor Zande. The Emperor's people spoke lightly of death and destruction, experimenting on those they deemed beneath them to fill the emptiness in their hearts. In facilitating Zande's return, Amon provided those languid souls with the means to free themselves from the mire of their own indolence. It sounds a bit like Meteon. The way she said to Hermes, like, if you give up your flesh, we could have ended it quickly. Or would have, had not Zande be convinced by his own death that life itself was meaningless. Amon's desire for his countrymen to conquer the heavens could only be a means to the same end, to instill the people with new purpose. Like Hermes before him, Amon was appalled by how those around him lived, but could never bring himself to believe that those lives were devoid of meaning. And both of them sought that meaning, that hope, in the distant stars. Such is my theory anyway. Ultimately, it is the consequences of their actions which matter. Their motives are of no moment, and yet... to reach those stars on wings of adamantite, to travel to the ends of creation and beyond, the promise of hope everlasting, that much I do understand. But enough musing for now. Why don't we see how Kokkol is getting on? Okay. Ooh, I can feel those flames are blazing from here. Glad you found someone capable, Graha. But there's not much left for you lot to do. Lest you can conjure up that refined adamantite any faster. Okay, I think that's a decent place to call it. I don't want to go too much further because I know there's some stuff coming up that I want to stream. So definitely keep a lookout for those ones coming after this video. Yeah, very, very interesting part of the story. We're kind of exploring a little bit more about the relationship between the Leveilleurs, especially the twins and their father, and Alfie in particular, kind of as his firstborn son, I guess. Yeah, I think wasn't a fan, not gonna lie, of the quests, the chores quests. It kind of feels like a bit of filler. Otherwise, I'm happy that we were rewarded. At least there's something you can take away from that. Again, this kind of feels like a bit of a filler episode with some aspects that have been touched on previously that we're kind of unraveling slowly. But yeah, as we inch closer towards the end, I'm expecting us to head out towards Meteon and probably take on whatever she's become, I guess, the kind of depressed version of Meteon, and solve the final days. I guess that's how it's maybe gonna go. I don't know how Zenos is gonna play in. Maybe we just fight him at the end or something. Zenos is like, okay, are you finally ready for me? And then we fight him. Like, I doubt we can fight him before because we're still gonna be preoccupied with stopping the final day. So I think it's gonna only happen once we've assured that. I like that section with Graha as well towards the end there where we talked about Hermes again and Amon. There's still a little bit of confusion there, I think. I don't know if I should know it and how that all like stitches together since the beginning we saw with Van Daniel and Amon and that flashback stuff. I'm still a little bit here and there, hither and thither. I still feel like we're gonna get more answers with regards to all of that. The soul, and maybe it's something to do with Dynamis. I don't know. How did he remember? But anyway, that's gonna do it for this episode. I appreciate you guys for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give it a like and subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. Welcome if you're new here. I appreciate you guys. Become a member if you want to help support the channel and you're enjoying the videos, or you can like subscribe on Twitch or something, Twitch Prime over there. Every little helps. I appreciate all of you guys and all of your support. You guys are awesome. As I said, keep a lookout for the streams coming as we get towards the end of 6.0. I'm going to be streaming probably quite a lot of that stuff, so keep an eye out for that. I'll always put up scheduled streams and stuff. Shout out all the members as always, and I will see you guys for the next part, either in video or on stream. Hope to see some of you guys for that. Take care. Peace.